Alright, so these are division of powers that we're going to talk about. This is our fifth set of notes. So on my notes page, I need for you to go ahead, if you need to, hit pause and get your table of contents out. And on your fifth part there, you're going to put division of powers. These are your number 5 notes. So obviously on here, since these are division of powers, these are going to be number 5. We're going to put them right behind number 4. So this is what we should have on our table of contents, number 5, division of powers. And we're going to put a number 5 up there on the top for our, we know that this is notes number 5, division of powers. Okay, we've kind of tweaked the organizer here for you. We've got our question here that we're going to put our question. This is my exponential form. This is my reciprocal in case I have a negative exponent. This is my expanded form and my standard form that I have left here for my organizer. So let's get a look at these and see if we can figure out what the rule is for doing division by powers. Okay, so if I look at it here, I'm going to give you my first question. Maybe my first one is going to be 2 to the 5th power, and I'm going to divide it by 2 to the 3rd power. So I have 2 to the 5th power divided by 2 to the 3rd power. And I want to divide those. Okay? First I look at it and see that, hey, my bases are the same. So my base is going to be 2 in exponential form. And I've got my, right here I know that my exponents here are 5 and 3. Well, I'm not too sure to know what to do with those. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to come over here to my expanded form. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to expand out. I'm going to put 5 2's. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I know that's my base. And since I'm dividing, that means I'm going to get smaller. I'm going to take away 3 of them. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. And I'm left with how many? 2 of them. So I know that my exponential form is 2 squared. Since this is a positive exponent, I don't need to do a reciprocal. And I can find my standard form now is just going to be 2 times 2, because my answer is 2 squared. So 2 times 2 is 4. Okay? So far we don't know the rule yet, but let's see if we can figure it out so that we can go. We'll do a few more here. So I got another one here. Let's do 3 to the 6th power divided by 3 to the 1st power. Okay? So here I've got 3 to the 6th power divided by 3 to the 1st power. First I find out what my base is. My base is going to be 3, so that goes in my exponential form. I need to now, well, let's expand 3 to the 6th power out. So it's going to be 3, it's going to be 6 3's. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And when I divide, I'm really taking 1 away, so I must mark one of those 3's out, because 3 to the 1st power, I'm just going to mark one of them out. And how many am I left with? I'm left with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 3's. So I know that 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 is 3 to the 5th power. So honestly, I don't have a reciprocal because that's a positive exponent. And then I can find my standard form if I need to. I can use my calculator here. 3 to the 5th power gives me 243 as my standard form. So, how did I take my powers 5 and 3, 6 and 1, and end up with 2? How did I take my powers 6 and 1 and end up with 5? What operation would I do there? I'll let you think about it here as we do one more. So if I do this one here, I don't know, let's do negative 5 to the 3rd power divided by negative 5 to the 2nd power. Okay? Well, I know that this is my base, is going to be negative 5. I can now then expand out 5 to the negative 3, which, I mean 5 to the 3rd power, which this is 5 to the third power. Negative 5 to the third power is expanded out right here. And I'm going to divide it by 5 to the negative 2. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to mark those two out. How many am I left with? I'm left with 1. So it's negative 5 to the first power. And so I don't have to take a reciprocal of that. And what I need to do then is just do negative 5 to the first power, which is going to be negative 5. So have you figured out what we're doing with our exponents there? How when I mark these out, what are we doing there? Are we adding? Are we subtracting? Are we multiplying? These exponents here, what are we doing with those? Well, if you figured it out, we're subtracting. Okay? So down here at the rule, it says subtract the exponents and the base will stay the same. So all we're going to do is just subtract the exponents and the base stays the same. Pretty much that's all the rule is. So let's try that rule out that we just came up with. Let's see what we can do. Let's come up with one that does this one. Let's do negative 3 to the first power divided by negative 3 to the second power. Okay? Well, I know that it says right here that the base stays the same. So my base here is going to be negative 3. And it says subtract the exponents. My exponents is negative 1 and 2. 1 and 2. So I'm going to subtract them. 1 minus 2, I get negative 1. So I know that my exponent now must be negative 1. I did 1 minus 2 gives me negative 1. Now that's a negative exponent. I need to make it positive, so I'm going to take the reciprocal. Since it's a negative exponent, I'm going to take the reciprocal of negative 3. That's going to be 1 over negative 3. And then to the first power, if I remember from negative exponents. And I can expand that out to be 1 over 3. Negative. And my standard form will be negative 1/3. Okay? Let's try another one. I got another one here. Let's see here. 6 to the third power divided by 6 to the negative 2 power. Alright, let's use the same formula here. I'm going to take the base, stays the same. So my base here is 6. And I need to subtract the exponents. So I'm going to subtract the exponents. So I'm going to do 3 minus negative 2. So do 3 minus negative 2. I get 5. So now my new exponent is 5. So there it is in exponential form. So 6 to the third power divided by 6 to the negative 2 power is 6 to the fifth power in exponential form. Now do I need to take a reciprocal of it? That's negative. That's positive. Since it's positive, I don't have to take a reciprocal. Because I don't need to make it, it's already positive. I want it as positive. So now I just need to expand it out. It's going to be 6 times 6 times 6 times 6 times 6. And then in standard form, I have 6 to the fifth power, 7776. That's a funny answer. There it is. So all I'm doing here is I'm keeping the bases the same. I'm taking my exponents and I'm subtracting them. I'm writing them down as exponential form. If I need to take the reciprocal of it to make positive exponents, I do. Then I expand them out and make my standard form. I'm using this chart that's going to help me with my organization. Use it every single time. I implore you to use this. You will use this. So let's try another one. Let's see here. Let's do negative 7 to the 0 power divided by negative 7 to the third power. Okay? So I need to find out my bases because it says here the base stays the same. So my bases are negative 7. It says I'm going to subtract the exponents. So it's 0 minus 3. It's not 3 minus 0. I'm going to go left to right. 0 minus 3. So I'm going to take 0 and I'm subtract 3. Use the calculator if you need help on those. Negative 3 is my new exponent. Uh-oh, what I need to do now, it's a negative exponent. So I need to make it a positive one. And to do that, I need to flip it over. Because remember the rule for negative exponents? If I don't remember the rule for negative exponents, I need to look at notes number 2. Notes number 2 help me out. I need to take the reciprocal of negative 7, which is 1 over negative 7. And my exponent now becomes positive to the third power. I can then expand that out. 1 over negative 7 times negative 7 times negative 7. And then I can check that on my calculator. The cube of negative 7 is going to be, is going to be, my fault, is going to be 1 over negative 343. Okay? That's a 3, by the way. 343. So it's a negative 1 over 343 is my answer. So what I did again was I kept the bases the same, subtracted 0 from 3 and got negative 3. So there's my thing in exponential form. Since it's a negative, I remember by definition, if I have a negative exponent, I need to change it. So using notes number 2, I changed it over, take the reciprocal, 1 over negative 7 to the third power, expanded it, standard form. Okay, let's try one more here. Let's do this one. 1/2 to the fourth power divided by 1/2 to the second power. Okay, I look here and I need to keep the base. So the base is myself is 1/2. Keep the base, keep the base. Now I need to subtract the exponents. I need to take 4 minus 2. Not 2 minus 4, but 4 minus 2. 4 minus 2 is 2. If you want to put parentheses around this, you can. So I got 1/2 squared. Do I need to take a reciprocal of this? I check my exponent to make sure that's positive. So I don't need to. No reciprocal. Now I just need to expand it. Well, how do I expand 1/2 to the second power? I know I've got 2 of them, so I'm going to put 1/2 times 1/2. Then I can just find what that is. 1 times 1 is 1. 2 times 2 is 4. And there's my answer. Okay? So that's my answer that I have there. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I follow this rule every single time. And what I need for you guys to do now is using this chart down here. I need you to do numbers 1, 2, 3, and 4. You're going to get your organizer and use those. Have me come and check. Mr. O must check. Okay? Then, when you're finished with these, you will then go to the next item up on your Moodle, which I think is going to be an IXL that you will be working on. I think the IXL is F9 and F10 at a minimum of 80%. It's on your Moodle, so please look. Have Mr. O check these to make sure you're doing it right. Use the organizer. Follow the order of what's going on. This is notes number 5, by the way. Please put those behind notes number 4 and keep them out so that if you need help with them, it will be glad to help you. Thanks.